So guys, look, MAJESPECTERs are back. This deck gets support in the latest Phantom Nightmare set. Now, I'm going to be doing a lot of work because I do think MAJESPECTERs is a deck that has a huge amount of potential, even for a Pendulum deck. It's always been more of a mid-rangey kind of Pendulum deck. Now, they don't have Kirin, which is a bit of a shame, but even without Kirin, this deck does so much, and every single MAJESPECTER has this really annoying effect that says, you cannot target or destroy this card. That is huge. Like, I don't think you realize, guys, every single deck right now is targeting. But things like this, it means normal summon Bambuku, that's never getting impermed, or your Yata or whatever. And then they got some other cool cards. So we're going to talk about the new cards. I'm going to show you one or two cool things that can do. It does have really good one card combos now, and then we're going to move on. So the first one, and the names, I'm sorry if I pronounced them wrong, Yamarashi. This card is really good. So same, it has the same clause that it can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects. And then also, if you control MAJESPECTER, you can special summon this card from the hand. This is such a great effect because it means now Bambuku gets you full MAJESPECTER combo, which is huge. Then also, when this is special summon, target a MAJESPECTER spell engrave and set. This effect is deceptively good as well, just because they do have a very good spell, and they have other good spells as well. I'm playing Cyclone mainly because of this card, just because it's like, why not? I mean, you just have so much recursion, it's great. Next up, you have their new spell, MAJESPECTER Wind. So when you activate this card, you can also tribute a wind spell cast a monster, special summon a MAJESPECTER from your hand or grave, or if you tribute a monster, you can special summon it from your deck. This effect is so good. You can shoot any MAJESPECTER out of the deck, or just get a MAJESPECTER from your hand, but you do need to be careful. Pretty much every single MAJESPECTER is a when effect, which means it can miss timings, which means that if your opponent, if you do something like normal summon Bambuku, your opponent triggers a card to negate Bambuku, and then you chain wind, what will happen on resolution when your other MAJESPECTER summons is it won't get its effect. It needs to be chain link 1 to get its effect. And so while this dodge does dodge, you can't do things like, I don't know, tribute Nekomata that's about to get removed off the field for a Bambuku instead. No, don't do that, because Bambuku will fizzle and miss timing. This is still a really good card though. Definitely want to max out on it, and it makes Yatta also a lot better, because it does mean that Yatta now is also full combo. So both Yatta and Bambuku will lead into the same full combo, which I will show you. Then moving on, they have the XYZ MAJESPECTER Draco. So this card is very good. I feel like I just haven't found exactly how to abuse it, but yeah. So if you have MAJESPECTER or Draco Slayer in your other Pendulum Zone, you can add one MAJESPECTER card from your deck to your hand, then destroy one card in your Pendulum Zone. It's a pretty good effect. And then next up, if you can Pendulum Summon level 4, you can Pendulum Summon this card from your extra deck. If a monster is tributed while this is on the field, detach one material, special summon one level 6 or lower wind spellcaster from your deck. And you can do this twice per turn. If this card is destroyed by battle or tributed, you can place it in your Pendulum Zone. So the Pendulum effect is a bit weird. Right now, maybe I'm missing something, but there just isn't a consistent way to empty your scales, or you don't really need to empty your scales like that in MAJESPECTER. And so the Pendulum effect doesn't come up. However, the summon effect is so good. If this deck ever gets Kirin back, this card will become crazy. However, right now, the problem is, if you could make this card, it means you've successfully resolved your Pendulum Summon. And then that means that how are you getting the MAJESPECTERs out of your Pendulum Scales to use this effect? So very good card, definitely going to do a lot for the deck. However, right now it doesn't have its huge advantages because there's just not that many good wind spellcasters. Like, I've had a look, maybe you guys can tell me, because I didn't play MAJESPECTERs back in the day, maybe I'm missing a really obvious wind spellcaster, but level 6 or lower wind spellcasters, I mean, there's not that many amazing ones that I can see that I really want to summon, but still a good card. But the real one is the Link. The Link is, this is one of the most cracked Pendulum Links that we've seen in a while. This card is so crazy. So when this is Link summoned, if this is Link summoned, you can activate this effect. It does lock you into MAJESPECTERs and Draco Slayers. However, you can add 2 face-up MAJESPECTER Pendulum monsters from your extra deck to your hand. Then you can add 2 MAJESPECTER Pendulum monsters with different names from your deck to your extra deck. This effect is crazy, guys. You basically go +4 because of this effect, and then you're going to plus even more. I mean, if you Link summon this, you have 2 Pendulum monsters on the field. There's no way you don't. 2 Pendulum monsters in your extra deck. Why? Because it takes 2 Pendulum monsters to summon this. So that's already great. But then you get to dump 2 more in your extra deck, which means you already have scales. You're going to add 2 to your hand, and then you're going to put 2 in your extra deck of any choice. I mean, this is crazy. This just does so much for your archetype. It means you can access any MAJESPECTER you want. You can set up a lot of really nasty locks in this deck, which is quite cool. Yeah. Definitely want to play 3 of this card, I think, just because resolving this card over and over again after slowing down your opponent is going to be huge. So there's different ways you can play MAJESPECTERs. Now, you can play it more with floodgates and such. However, unfortunately, with both Rivalry and Gozen being limited, I think it does hurt it a bit, MAJESPECTERs a bit, because those would be really great cards to play 3 of. it's not as good anymore. So I've gone for a hand trap variant. However, it may change. I really feel like there's a lot that needs to be explored with this deck because it can be great, but I'm going to show you basic combos. So the Yato and the Bambuku combo are basically the same combo. They don't really change. The only difference with Yato is you have one more summon. But with Yato, what's going to happen is you're going to normal summon Yato. Yato is going to unsummon, search for the new spell Wind. Wind is going to tribute and then search for Bambuku. And like I said, you want to make sure this is chain link 1. If you don't, Bambuku will miss timing and will not search. So Bambuku here will search for your Yamarashi. Yamarashi is going to summon itself out of scale. If you're playing on Nido Pro, be careful because you might actually put it in scale and then just lose the game right there. Then on summon, this is what's really nice as well. Yamarashi can set this card. Now, depending on what you have in your deck or what you're going to add to your extra deck, you may not want to set because you may use some of the effects to add loads of traps. However, I am going to set here. So I'm going to set this here, then I'm going to go into my link 2, and this is what I'm talking about. This is a huge amount of advantage. So I'm going to add these two and create scales for myself, which is really, really cool. Then I get to put any two MAJESPECTERs in my extra deck. So what are the ones I'm going to choose? Well, in my opinion, it makes sense to put down the new Draco Slayer one because she's going to search a field spell, which is going to be important for the first lock we're doing, and then add a card that I can discard later. So we're going to add Ogama. Is it Ogama? No, what's one that searches? I think it's this one, isn't it? Yes, Kyubi. So we're going to add Kyubi. And by the way, look, you could add whatever you want. This just happens what I'm going with because I do think Secret Village is a pretty unfair card. But then from here, you're going to Pendulum Summon out, and this is off one card, by the way, so this is why it's so good. You're going to Pendulum Summon out. Now, if you do want your Majesty Pendulum to resolve, you're going to make sure that she's chaining 1, otherwise you're not going to be able to resolve her effect. So what's going to happen is I'm going to add any trap, it does not matter what I add. Then from here, I add Secret Village, discard Tempest, and then I activate my Secret Village. And then from here as well, we can do make a Draco, and from here, so what do we have? Well, they're completely locked out of spells, and then I get to summon any MAJESPECTER from deck and search my opponent's turn, which will trigger Draco and allow me to summon another MAJESPECTER. This is so good because my opponent's locked out of spells and I only used one card to lock them out of spells. Instead, I could have put Tempest on the board instead. Tempest wouldn't be too bad as that would get me a Solemn basically. So it's a Solemn spell basically, and that's something from deck called Draco. So guys, look, MAJESPECTERs I think is going to have a lot of potential in the new format, just as a deck that can dodge targeting and can do these really efficient one card combos that most decks are not going to contend with, which is why I think it does work as a kind of hand trap deck. I do like a lot of the Pendulum decks seem to have these nice one card combos and becoming like Cyber decks almost, where it's like one card combos and loads of hand traps. I like that kind of deck. I know Joshua Schmidt doesn't. But anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. Yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if you've got any other builds to MAJESPECTERs as well, because I do think this deck has a lot of potential, and I'll talk to you all later. Peace.